right, welcome everyone to my Wisdom to Wealth series. Today we are talking about vision mapping for your life and business, designing what's possible. A vision is our anchor word for the month because at the Soul Personal Network, we always have an anchor word for every single month. This month it is the word vision. So we are talking about here how we're using that in our life and our in our business. This is interactive, so I'm just reminding everybody. Some of you are watching it on replay, either in our online school or on YouTube. So you can leave comments along the way if you'd like to. So today I want to make sure that you leave with a very clear and expanded vision for your life and business, awareness of what's currently limiting that vision, and a tangible vision map to continue building whatever your next aligned step is. If you've heard me talk before, you will know that I feel 2026 is a big year for growth. I feel like a lot of us are just shedding 2025 and what no longer served us since the pandemic in 2020. I feel like a lot of us got into ruts and we became something. And now in 2026, we're really going inward. And I was just telling some people yesterday I was talking to that a lot of the strategy and the logical brain stuff that I've been teaching for all of these years is almost no longer needed or not what people are actually looking for, because the stars alignment universe is expecting coherence. We want to feel it in our body. So you will hear me talk a lot about coherence, not only alignment. So alignment is knowing the direction that we're going to be going in, and we'll have that talk today. But coherence is how your body is responding to it. So if your nervous system doesn't believe that you could hit your first six figures or get your high-end clients or whatever it is your vision is, you will never get there. And all the strategy in the world will never get you there if your body's not in coherence. So one of the things I do in my private work is I've worked in Psyche, which is an energy modality that helps people get into coherence. I'm bringing that more forward than ever before because I feel like there is such a calling for it. And I just feel like 2026 is about that. So we will talk about all of that in today's class, not just alignment, but coherence. And there are other ways of getting your body into coherence. There's somatic work, there's EFT, there's some types of meditation, there's breath work. It's about regulating your body so it can accept whatever that big vision is. It's not you going, no, 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 because we all have these limiting beliefs. Every single one of us at every single level have limiting beliefs of what is possible for each of us. I still go through it. I am going through a growth right now as well. We'll probably talk about that because I usually just lay myself out in the line as I teach. So we will have some visions here. Shows. Okay, so I want to start off with redefining vision and breaking old models, because so many times we are taught how to be professional, what the model looks like, and I don't think that that really holds true anymore. I believe that we can design a business any way that we want to. If you don't want to work nights or weekends or even some days of the week, you don't have to. If you don't want to do social media, you don't have to. If you, I know I have a client that actually just stopped using like Zoom and does so much in person now and really moved to that model. You can create a business any way you want to. So your vision is yours. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do that vision, right? But a lot of the traditional goal setting is becoming what I'm calling vision mapping, right? It's like holding a bigger vision for yourself, not just setting goals. Do I have goals? Yes. Do I talk about KPIs when I teach business? Yes. KPIs are key performance indicators. Do I have things and track things every month? I do. But I also have a vision of where I'm going, and I sit in that energy all the time, all the time. So a big one, if you're following me, you know that we've had the Soul Professional Network, which started as the Natural Life Business Partnership for over 10 years, right? We had a paid membership for over 10 years. We closed that at the end of 2024. And my new vision I've rolled out to everyone in the past 2 months is becoming fully community supported. So I'm not financially backing the bigger movement anymore, right? So my vision had to grow from where we were, right? But me as a person has to become the leader of that vision before I can create that vision. Does that make sense? It's about who you are becoming and making decisions from your future self, right? Most visions are way too small, right? We have identity ceilings. We have fear, sometimes disguised as what's practical for us. We have conditioned expectations because of what we've been taught. And I know it's hard, but we have to push all of that away and see what is actually possible, right? In vision mapping, it's really about identity, who we are becoming, alignment, what feels true and alive for us in this moment, and then structure, like, right? How it can actually exist in our reality, right? Because it has to actually exist. So there has to be some type of form to it. So vision mapping is a big part of how I teach when I do things. So I want to just start off with a little prompt. If anyone wants to talk with us, you will not be on camera, but we can hear your voice. Where in your life have you already outgrown a current vision, right? What are we shedding? Let's just talk about that and then we're going to guide you through a visualization for maybe 5 minutes of where you're going to go. But do any of you have a vision or had a vision of who you were supposed to be, but you've outgrown it, you shed it, you're stepping into something more? Because I feel like more and more of you are becoming someone new. The hard part is shedding who you once were, right? And that could be changing careers, coming out of corporate jobs, coming into being a coach, being a consultant, or changing your career 100%, right? Even when I started writing books, convincing myself that I'm a writer was a big hurdle for me because I kept saying, I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. And I think it was after my second book, my publisher was like, Camille, you have 2 books out there, both bestsellers. You are a writer, so you need to start embodying that, right? So as I write my 4th book, I just start with, I'm a writer. I'm a writer. This is going to be so easy for me. Let me just get this out there. So it's that change of who I am that helps me create the vision. Does that make sense? Who wants to share? Has anyone shed a vision, or are they in between visions? You can either write it in the chat, or if anyone wants to talk, you can let me know. If I can't see you, raise your hand. Amy, you just unmuted, so you can go.
You know, I want to put it out there that I want to start speaking.
Okay.
And for so many for so many years, I thought I don't have anything to share. And I still question myself, what do I have to share? And every time I say it to anybody I'm talking to, they're like, just shut up because you've got so much knowledge to share.
Yeah.
And literally putting it out there to say I'm ready, although it scares me. If I'm standing there, like, that's the thing. It's like, what do I have to say? So just going from the complete behind the scenes, I always say I'm the power behind the president, and being ready to step out in front and just finally share who I am and how my life journey can maybe help somebody. Like, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's
But
really scary. And then I want to get paid for it. I've yet to do that, but I'm like, just pay. I'm like,
I
why
love
not?
it. I love it. But you have to keep saying, I am.
I
I
am.
am a speaker. I
I
do
am a
have
speaker.
to say,
Yes, exactly.
right? Because we all help people that are 2 years behind us about. That's our client avatar. It's you 2 years ago. And no matter what, you have knowledge for that person you were 2 years ago,
Yeah. Yeah. My
right?
perfect client is who I knew, who I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. And you do have a message for them,
Right.
right?
And then you
So,
take that speaking and hope that, you want them to, then hire you because I'm a Reiki practitioner and because I want them to hire me because I want to help these amazing women realize that they're kick ass.
all right. But you can talk about how amazing women are kick ass,
Right.
right? So they start to identify themselves or say, this is who I used to be, and they start to identify themselves.
That's interesting. I never thought about that, like
Yeah.
speaking about that from the heart. Because
Yeah.
usually if I'm speaking, I'm talking about just Reiki and like some things to do about it, but nothing about me per se. That's
Yeah.
the scary part.
Oh, well, you have to put yourself out there, right?
Yeah.
You have to be you, right? That's authentic. You
Hmm.
have to show up as you. That's why I share kind of like where I am. I write about the mistakes I make. If anyone follows my LinkedIn newsletter, it's literally about what I'm feeling on a Monday morning. And it's not always pretty, but it's real, right?
Right.
And I have competing energies with so many thoughts coming through. And that's normal, but someone else needs to know it so they go, oh my gosh, me too. Me
Right.
too. That's so
Well,
me. I didn't know someone else like that was feeling it. And
right.
that's for the soul professional, the movement itself, the number one thing I hear, and I've heard it for over 10 years now, is, oh my gosh, I didn't know there were people like me out there in the world. I thought I was it. I thought I was the only one.
Right.
I'm like,
I mean,
no,
look,
that's the whole point
there's
of the movement.
yeah. I mean, look, vulnerability is powerful.
Absolutely.
We all want to see people's, I don't care. We're being recorded. I want to see people's fuck ups
Yeah.
because then you're not alone.
Yeah. That's why I talk about my mistakes and things I made along the way, and because that's what people resonate with.
Right.
Right. So you said that you want to get on stages, and then we'll move off of this for
Yeah.
everybody, unless anyone else wants to share what their big vision is. You said you want to get on stages so people will hire you, right? You have to
Yeah.
talk about the problem and how you identified it and then how you overcame it. Because for all of us, no matter what we're selling, what our practice is, people want what you got. And it's
Right.
your energy. It's not your product. It's not how you position it. It's not how you talk about it. It's your energy.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many people contact me and they're like, I don't know what you're selling, but I'm in. Right. Right. And I'm always like, well, come find out over here. Right.
Right.
So you don't have to naturally sell, you attract, right?
Exactly. And I'm a projector. So
Mm.
I really need to be invited
Yeah, right. So
within
you
human
might you
design.
might also attract projectors. I'm not a projector, but I attract a lot of projectors. But yeah, so that's just talking about vision. Anyone else want to say, like, where in your life have you already outgrown one of your current visions? And we're going to talk about where you're going. Um, has anyone let things go? Karen?
I think I think for me it's letting go of the past me,
Mm.
the person that um, had no self confidence, no self esteem, and not wanting to be too full of themselves. And now it's like, what's wrong with that? But
Mm.
I don't have to go back there
I like
because
that.
I didn't. What that was doing was making me a victim, and I don't want to work with victims and I don't want to be a victim. So, need to move forward. So, I've let go of being a victim and less than.
Good for you. That's a
At
big
least I'm working on it every day.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
I love it. But that's also who you'll attract in the world, right? Because we attract exactly who we are, right? So if you attract people that aren't ready to pay or very wishy-washy or whatever it is, right? You're attracting, even in partners in life and friends, if you're attracting the wrong ones, you need to look in the mirror, because that's the energy you're giving out, and people are locking with that energy. It's like a magnet. Like, oop, there's my partner. Let me hang with this person, right? Because we become, or we are, who we hang out with. Those are our five in every circle in life and business and love. Those are our five. Who you hang out with, you will become, right? So if you want to become a millionaire, go find 4 other millionaires and hang out with them. If you want to become a philosophy teacher, go hang out with 4 other philosophy teachers, right? That's how you become, because your energies will start to come together, right?
That's why I love the soul professional universe.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that's a reason why we exist in the world, right? So people know that everything is possible because other people have done it. We can show you evidence that it does exist in the world, right? When you stay around high vibration people, you will stay in that high vibration as well, right? But if you go to lower vibration people that are struggling, people that are a victim, that's where your energy will go as well.
You know what else I have found is that sometimes, because of where we are and the vibration that we are putting out, it might not be evident. But then, admittedly, the food I eat can bring down that vibration in a hurry. And what I found is that the people I'm hanging out with all of a sudden show up and say, hey, let's bring up that vibration, Karen.
And those are like, good people, yes, then. Yes. Good people. Excellent. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else, anything to share before we move on? Anything that you're shedding, or it was just a discussion prompt of where in your life have you already outgrown your current vision? Because boy, is this a year to be doing that. Definitely a big year to be doing that. Stephanie, you want to share?
Yeah,
You have a big one. I'd love for you to share.
I am in the middle of shedding a really big, I guess it's part of my identity and everything, but next week will be officially signing the paperwork to sell my clinical practice that I've built over 9 years. So it's not just my job, but it's my licensure, my income, everything. But it doesn't fit who I am and how I want to practice and how I want to help anymore. So it's time to let it go and step into this new way of being and allowing myself the freedom to live my life rather than being constricted by the license and everything.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, there's a lot of this happening in 2026. I feel a big pull. I don't know where I'm going, but I feel this very big pull towards something else, something bigger, something more soulful, bringing out more of my intuition and my psyche and that gifts, all of my clairs, than the strategy. I just feel this pull. I don't know how it's going to show up, but boy, am I feeling. And I also feel that the world is ready for it, where it may not have been before. Right? I tend to, I'm claircognizant, so I tend to get these nudges about 2 years before the world is ready. So I feel like we're in the shift right now. All right, next we're going to do an expanding the vision exercise. So this is a visualization for all you guys. You can either think it through, or you can write if you want, but I don't want you to overthink it. Right? You can close your eyes if you want to. I'm just going to walk you through a couple of questions, and then we'll bring it back and talk about it. And we're going to focus on 3 years from now. So if you guys want to close your eyes, if you just want to write in here, whatever works for you. you want to do a little bit of both, you can do that. But we're going to do just a quick 5-minute visualization. All right, so close your eyes if you want to, if you're ready. It's best if both of your feet are grounded on the ground. So you're grounded when you're thinking of this. And I want you to think about that it's 3 years from today. 3 years from today. So it's 2029. We are at the end of this decade, believe it or not. And you are feeling deeply aligned with your work, deeply aligned in life. Everything is very meaningful for you, and you're financially supported. You have all the means that you need. There is no worries in the world. There is no struggling. You have everything. You are surrounded by loving, supported people, and it's 3 years from now. I want to ask yourself very specific questions. Where are you waking up? You can write it down. You can just think about it. Where are you waking up? You might even think about who are you waking up next to? Are you alone? Are there people in the house? Are you in the woods? I don't know. Where are you waking up? And what kind of work are you doing? This could be absolutely anything. It does not have to produce income. So don't think about it that way. It's just what kind of work. Sorry, I blinked out there. It's still working. All right, so if you can still hear me, who are you serving in this work? Can you guys hear me okay? Because I blinked out. Okay. All right, the next question is, how does money flow into your life? You could say, it's just there. My bank account is just always full. You could say it's clients. You could say it's residual income. You could say, it's from an investment that just keeps paying off. It's from a money tree. It could be anything. How does money flow into your life? And then the last question, the most important. How do you feel in your body? How do you feel in your body? And then when you're ready, we'll just come back slowly. And this part, I do want you to write before we talk about it. I want you to write a few things down. So hopefully if you guys have to grab a pen or something. I want you to think about 4 categories. It's your life vision, how you live, feel, and experience life. Your work or business vision, what you're doing, offering, your impact. Your financial vision, income, how ease, your relationship with money. These are all things we just did in the other one. And your identity. Who are you becoming? So these are 4 categories. I'll go through them again. Life vision, work and business vision, financial vision, and identity. And I want you to write a couple sentences under each category. It could be words too, but based on the visioning that we just did, because that's your future, right? No editing. Write exactly what comes to your mind. Do not stop yourself. And I'm going to just give you about 5 minutes, a few minutes. Look up when you're done. And I'm gonna pause the tape for those that are on replay. And then when we come back, we're going to share a little bit. again. Okay, so it's been probably about 5 minutes because I stopped the recording. We are back. If anyone would like to share first about what came up from them and then a little bit about their visions, but I want you to share the version of your life that surprised you the most. Did anyone get like a, oh, I didn't see that one coming, or I didn't know I'd go in that direction? Anyone get anything surprising? No, everyone knows exactly where they wanted to go. It's okay. Sometimes people are surprised with where things like these visionings take them. Anyone get surprised? No.
I will say I loved your question, like, where are you waking up? I was like, that's interesting. I've never thought about that before.
Yeah. Yeah. And did anyone wake up in a place they either didn't recognize or that they didn't think would be their home? Anybody? Did you all wake up at home? You did? Oh, wow. That's pretty incredible. I guess none of you are moving. I woke up at a cabin in the woods. Stephanie, go ahead. You had something to add? Oh, it's Stephanie.
Who, me?
Yes.
Is there another Stephanie? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting question as well. And I woke up and I was staring at a beach, like a tropical beach.
Okay.
And traveling is in my repertoire for my business. And so that kind of surprised me in a way, but it hasn't because I keep seeing that vision.
I love
I just
that.
don't know I don't know where it is, but
That's okay.
yeah.
You don't have to know.
Yet. So that was pretty cool though. Yeah, just the sand, the water, the blue sky, the wind. I was like, oh my God, where am I? This is awesome.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's beautiful. Anyone else? Anything that either surprised them, was a little unique or different? No, we're all good. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is a pretty interesting exercise. So now we're going to go to we're going to shift from your expansion, the idea, the vision of what's possible, to awareness, right? And we're going to talk about the gap between where you are right now and this new future self, like where you're going. Because that is the biggest hurdle to getting to where you want to go, right? Is becoming that future self, the one that wakes up at the beach or whatever else you discovered about yourselves, right? Who is that? That future person is the gap between where you are now and her, right? And it mostly is rooted in a subconscious belief, right? There's an identity mismatch of some type, or you're over attached to the, how am I going to get there? I don't know how I'm going to get there, right? And you don't always have to know the how as long as you can hold the vision, right? So subconscious beliefs is, I'll never have enough money to travel. Those that we talked about traveling, right? That's a subconscious belief. It's not true. It's a subconscious belief. Or I'll never get out of the situation I am. I'll never have enough money. I'm not that type of person, or only masters do that. Whatever their subconscious belief, right? And that's part of your identity mismatch. That's someone else. It's not me, right? Someone else can do that, but I can't do that. Or being attached to the how. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'll never sell enough packages. Or if I, if I was booked 40 hours a week, I still wouldn't have enough money to live that vision, right? Subconscious belief, identity mismatch, and going too far into the how, right? So first we want to do is spot the gap, right? What is the gap that you are feeling? Is the vision too big? Is it unrealistic? Or is it just unavailable to you? Right? And then I want you to ask yourself, what would I have to believe for this to be possible? What would I have to believe for this to be possible? And that's how we get there. That's the big question from here to there. What would I have to believe? It could be, I would have to believe that I am a magnificent practitioner. I would have to believe that people really love my energy and my programs and the stuff that I put out there. I would have to believe that I am capable of an immense amount of money and holding that in my body. I would have to believe that I am worthy of having this type of life. I would have to believe that the universe is divinely guiding me. I would have to believe that I could be on God's payroll. I don't have to worry about it. Right? So these are all beliefs that you need to change to fill that gap. Is anything coming up for you guys? Does anyone want to discuss? Because I know that gap is sometimes hard. Right? You would have to believe so many things to get this life that right now feels out of reach. But no life is out of reach for us. No life is out of reach for us. Right, I'm going to continue.
Oh my goodness.
What's the matter?
Something just popped up.
Do you want to share? Because you're unmuted.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. No, it's fine. It's good. So I can hear you.
I would have to believe that it's all possible without hurting anyone else.
Oh my gosh. That's such a good one. I got chills on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I went, yeah, I do believe that. I do believe that. I do believe.
Very good. That's deep.
Thank you.
And these are things that are held in our body without us knowing. Things like this. I was doing money work. This was years and years and years and years ago, where I was just doing a lot of money work. And it was a rapid fire thing where we had to like put words to words. And I realized in that moment, I was attaching love to money. If I didn't have it, I was unworthy of love. And that just changed everything. So I was like, oh my goodness, that is heavy on my shoulders. So it's things like that when we see the gap and we realize, wait, it's how I'm identifying. I do want to say for a lot of you, I don't know if any of you have ever done what's called mirror work. It's literally taking a mirror and looking deep into your own eyes and saying how much you love yourself, you appreciate yourself, how you value, how worthy you are, and really having a solid conversation with your soul. Because when you look into your own eyes, that's when you'll start to communicate with your inner self. It's actually harder than you think. Very hard to do mirror work. But that is how you start to work on that gap that you're feeling, because you will have to believe something. And how do we shift those beliefs? Because sometimes it's not just recognizing it, it's starting to shift it, right? When we went from our community to a community supported community, I had to do a lot of inner work. One, that I was worthy to do this, but I had to believe that I was the leader that could do this. I had to believe that people were going to follow me down this path. I had to believe that there were other people like me that wanted to see this beautiful global society that cared about each other, right? I had to believe that I wasn't the only one on earth that saw this big gap in the world, right? And then from that, I had to identify with other people. So I always saw I have to go look for the evidence, right? So then I put out a call, people rose, and I went, okay, now I'm confirmed, I'm validated. I'm not the only one that sees this gap. I'm not the only one that wants to help. I'm not the only one, right? And that starts to create evidence. So every time you bring in a client, you create evidence that that gap is getting smaller. Does that make sense? Right? You want to go look for evidence. And sometimes you find evidence because other people are doing it. You're like, well, if she's doing it, why can't I do it? There's evidence in the world that people pay for whatever it is, right? There's evidence in the world that other people are doing it. There's evidence in the world. Like I look at like a Bob Proctor in the world. There's evidence in the world that other people have done this, right? And have huge legacies because he's since passed, but his work still lives in the world, right? When I look at my work and how I want to leave my legacy, there's evidence in the world that other people have already done it. Does that make sense? Amy, I know you wrote that the how is where you get stuck. When we change our focus on the identity of who we are, the how starts to show up, right? I don't always know how I'm going to do something, but if I can hold this bigger vision, the how shows up for me. Like, oh, someone will say, hey, do you want to partner on this? Do you want to do this? Or I'd like to work with you, but I have no idea how, right? And then I'll create a package for that person because I feel like I'm supposed to work with them too, right? The how shows up. And that's actually how a lot of my packages ended up. Someone needed it in the world, so I created it, and then more people asked for it. I was like, is that something I'm supposed to do? Right? The how shows up. When you try to always do everything with your logical brain, your body's not always like, that's not it. Right?
I'm
Your
very left
logical
brain, right brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your brain doesn't always have the answer. Sometimes you have to feel your way into it. All right. I'm looking at my notes to make sure I do everything. So there's a 3-part bridge, which we talked about: identity shift, who you must become for that future
Is she
vision.
stuck again?
Am I? Am I stuck for you?
I've been having tech.
Yes. All right. So the next 3-part bridge I talked about: the identity shift of who you must become, aligned action, what feels like a natural next move, right? You're not forcing something. It feels like an aligned action is the natural next move. And I always say it's usually a baby step, right? You're not going to run a marathon without buying the sneakers. The baby step is the natural move to whatever you're trying to achieve. Don't look at this big thing and say, how can I get there, right? Baby step. What's one step in the right direction I need in this one moment? And a simple structure, one container to support it. And that's pretty much all you need. 3 bridges: identity, action, and a simple structure to do it. All right, so I want you all to think for your future self, what is one aligned action step that's not overwhelming, it's baby, 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 that moves you towards this vision? Is there one thing, small thing, that you can do that'll move you towards this greater vision? Just like I said, marathon, buy the sneakers, right? Be a writer, buy a notebook or a pen. I write with a pen because it makes me think differently. Right? One thing, right? You want to do, develop your spiritual gifts, maybe you buy a book, watch a YouTube channel, right? One aligned action. And what support or structure would make this easier for you, right? Is it a community? Is it an accountability friend? Is it a coach? Is it alignment work? What is one support or structure that would make it easier for you, right? It could be conversations. It could be testing an idea. It could be blocking off time in your calendar. I'm trying to do some deeper inner work, so I'm looking time to block off my calendar so I can actually practice some of my gifts so I get better at them, right? And reaching out for collaboration. So one of the things I do is I have a friend at night. I text all my wins to them for the day and my goals for the next day because it keeps me accountable. That's just one thing I do to keep me accountable. All right, before I wrap up, does anyone have any questions? Things that have come up for them? I know we kind of breezed through a lot, but I feel like it was actually really helpful. I write quick outlines. I don't actually even know sometimes what I'm teaching. It comes out as I as I show up. Anyone, any questions, thoughts, things that are coming up for them, things that are unclear that I can make a little clearer for you? Do you all feel that you know one aligned action that you can take? Yes, no,
Is it
kind of.
in addition to what we're already doing or what we're already doing? Because
Yeah, I
the
mean,
aligned action. Yeah.
you might already be on the path, and there's other in the class that never thought of it.
Okay.
You know, so it's just one aligned action as long as you have it, and a baby step so it's not so overwhelming. And the important thing to also consider is what are you no longer available for after seeing this vision, right? Because when you take things out of your life, you make this space for this new vision to come in. So there are things that this is where we're coming full circle now. This is where we started, right? What do we have to let go of to make this new vision possible? It's creating space in your life, right? It could be a program, like I let go of my membership in 2024. And even though financially it was kind of like a shock, but it allowed space for me to come to where I am today, right? Because I wanted it to be open access for everybody across continents. So how did that have to look, right? But first I had to stop the income stream for that to happen, if that makes sense. I see someone wrote, blocking out more time for me and following through with that. Good for you, Sophia. Yeah, just blocking out time. I wanted to start reading more, so now I get up with my coffee and I don't turn on my TV. Well, I never did turn on the TV, but I try not to use my phone or anything. And I'm like, well, if I want to read, let's read, because I feel like I've lost the art of actually reading a good magazine. I love magazine articles, a good magazine, and I don't want it electronic. Like, makes my head buzz too much. So I'm trying to get back to like physically holding a book and finding space to do that, right? But first I got to do it. So blocking out time, whatever that looks. But what are you no longer available for is a big one for me. Trying to get off TikTok, big one, right? Because my brain just spins all day long now because I have a shorter attention span. So I'm like, okay, let's just stop that practice and let's do more meaningful things or mindful things, like starting to meditate and be in silence without things playing in the background all the time. So think about what you're letting go as well. All right, so final teaching points. Vision is not something that you chase. It's something that you become available for. Does that make sense? Because when you do, then opportunities will reorganize around you. All of a sudden, you'll start to hear a conversation you overheard because now you have this vision. Or you'll start to see an article or a podcast or something will cross your path because now you're open-minded about this new vision. You're holding space for it. And all of a sudden, opportunities that were always there are now going to cross your path and you're going to recognize them and you're able to take them because you've created the space to allow that and you've held the vision. So holding your bigger vision is an important piece of all of this, because your brain will start to show you what your future self needs. It's just like when you go to buy, you want a white car, and all of a sudden you'll see all the white cars in town, right? Because it's called a reticular activating system. It's actually part of your brain that's helping you, because your brain is wired for safety and to help you. So as soon as you decide that this is where I'm going, your brain will start to show you all the things that you've been missing. Like, oh, we know this person over here, or have you seen this podcast over here, or have you read this little article over here? Because you've decided in your head that that's the direction you're going in, your brain will then help you find it. It's natural, it's part of who we are, right? You can even say, brain, this is what I'm looking for. Hey, I want to be on podcasts. Brain, can you show me some more podcasts? And all of a sudden you'll be shown all of these podcasts. It's like an angel in waiting. But it's part of you and it's biological. Not making this stuff up. That's how we manifest, right? It's actually your brain doing all the work, and it's all tied into science. Yes. All right. Just looking through. I'm reading through my notes, make sure I made it all the way to the bottom, which is very rare in these sessions. I think that's all I got. Does anyone have any questions? Do you know your next steps after you leave this class? You are always welcome to have a discussion with me. We have plenty of stuff. I have lots more free stuff in the online community. I teach free every single month. I also have a full YouTube channel full of free stuff. So if this is something that interests you, or you want to do more work, feel free to reach out to me if you want to work with me directly. But a big part of holding your vision, like I said, isn't just the alignment and knowing where you're going. It's the coherence in your body, right? It's your body saying, yes, this is where I also want to go. Does that make sense? It's both alignment and coherence to make this work. All right, that's pretty much all I got. Does anyone have any questions before we wrap up today? All right, well, I do want to thank you guys for showing up, and know that we teach this live the 4th Thursday of every single month. This is called my Wisdom to Wealth series, and it is a part of our anchor word. So in the Soul Professional community, we have an anchor word every single month, and everything we do is based on that anchor word. So if you're in person or a gathering, which we're starting to have all over the world now, if you're in my 3rd week global gathering, we will also tie everything around that word. If you come to my first Monday Soul Circle, I pull oracle cards. We also talk about the inner beings of whatever our word is for the month. And of course, we have a healing circle the 2nd week, and we are going to start some meditations. We have a finance class coming at the end of next month, because we're starting to partner with other masters in the world, and I'm really excited to bring that stuff to you. Of course, everything we do is open access and free. So if we can help you in any way, please reach out to me and become a part of the community. If you haven't yet signed the Soul Professional Movement, you can go to our website at soulprofessional.com and go look for that pledge and become a good global citizen. That's all I got. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And please reach out if I can help you in any way. Bye-bye.